everybody. Dreadnought Ryan here. Welcome back to the Island of Misfit Toy Collectors. And today I'm going to be doing a review of some of my Indiana Jones Adventure Series pickups. I've been saving these up for a little bit, kind of just to do a bigger review. Just kind of want to go over the good, the bad, and the ugly of this particular figure line. For some of you, you may or may not know, I've been a huge fan of the Indiana Jones movie series. My two favorites, of course, are Last Crusade and Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's where my focus has been on picking up which figures for those particular movies. They do have Temple of Doom and then, of course, the newest Indiana Jones movie as well. So if you do like some of those figures from those movies, you can pick those up. But again, my focus has been on those two movies that I enjoy the most. I was excited to hear that Hasbro had picked up this license once they were able to re-sign the Star Wars license with Lucasfilms. Lucasfilms, of course, is owned by Disney. So that comes with the good, the bad, and the ugly on some of that as well, too. And let's get started with that particular item, because it was a Disney Store exclusive, and I was also able to pick this up on Hasbro Pulse. But it is the Indies from Raiders of the Lost Ark, from that opening scene, of course, where Indy finds that almost South American style idol that you may have found from like the Aztecs or the Incas. And it does come with this great little dio piece here. So let's get started with that, and then I'll show you those accessories. This dio piece is really awesome. It has some great sculpting. They did also sculpt on some of like the moss. They do have it in a decent wash. It is painted green and yellows. It has different colors of the yellow, so it does give it a nice depth when you have it in hand. Of course, the sculpting and the wash are great on this particular item. One cool feature of it is, as you can see up here, this does retract just like it does in the movie. So Indy can swap out the idol with the bag of sand and, of course, start the giant boulder rolling down. It is hollow underneath, but it does have some pretty decent heft to it. It is in a harder rubber type plastic, which is cool. You also get, of course, get this up here, the bag of sand that Indy had put down on it. It does have a little bit of a wash to it. It has some great sculpting, but again, you can set that down and then start it as it collapses, and then Indy having to run. You do also get the Aztec or Inca idol as you get it to show up. This did come initially with the first wave of Indiana Jones figures, and this figure is that Indiana Jones from the first wave, and that's kind of part of one of the things that are the ugly for me. I get that you have to have reissues or updates, but for a little bit over $40, just basically for that dio piece, was kind of a little bit frustrating. All of the accessories are the same. You'll get Indy's whip. He does also come up with the rolled up whip and his pistol and holster. These are in a softer plastic. The pistol is also in a softer plastic. And one of the pain points initially when it launched with that first wave is this little loop here is on a mushroom peg, and it's darn near impossible to get that to stick into the belt. That has been improved with this particular figure, and that goes the same for the pistol as well too. You can get that item to stick. I have them in there now, and I'm not taking them out. For my first Indy figure, I did get the upgrade kit from Gridiron. So it comes with a new belt, a pistol that is in the resin, but it's stiffer than what this one is, so it's not that soft, flimsy rubber that we've seen with some of the G.I. Joe guns. And then, of course, the whip itself is almost cloth, but it feels almost like a burlap, and then it also has a wire in it, so you can pose the whip a little bit better. Of course, Indy does come with his pouch. They do have some great paint apps here. You can see that's painted gold, and then of course on his belt buckle as well too, here and here. So paint apps wise, it's really nice. You can see some wear on the leather jacket, of course wear on the hat as well too. So that's one of the nice features. As far as for Harrison Ford, he seems to be a person that's a problem getting a good head sculpt on him. But these particular Indy figures look pretty good. The hat is molded onto the top of the head. This particular figure, again, doesn't come with any type of chest articulation, so you don't get that ab crunch, but he does have the ball joint in the waist, so you do get some nice swivel. Of course, he does have the standard ball joints on the legs to the waist. He does have also hip cuts, so you can rotate the hips and the legs as you need to. Sorry, I'm moving the camera around here a little bit too much. He is on a hinge and swivel for the knees, which has been standard what we've seen for these figures, as well as the Star Wars. He has basic articulation for the legs, so it's that forward-facing pin for rocker. One cool feature with all of these figures is that it is a dumbbell joint peg that plugs the hands in, so you can swap through the hands pretty easily. Now, the reason I showed you that articulation is because this was initially the first wave, and the majority of these figures all have that same articulation. As you can see, most of them are suited, which makes for those to be nice figures as well, too, because if you want to have dio pieces or extras in the background, the suited figures are great for this particular line, and they also scale at the true 6-inch instead of like the 6.5 for the Marvel Legends. Now again, with this one, it was $40 for this particular figure with the dio pieces. This one ran me, I think it was like $34.99. And he is the Cairo Indy, which basically means it's Indy without his leather jacket. He comes with all of the same accessories. But this particular Indy also comes with the monkey that Marion came with on that initial run, which does have some great paint apps to it as well, too. Articulation for the legs, the tail, and then, of course, the head as well. He also comes with 3 sets of hands, so you will get the open hand that we saw with Raider Indy here. And then, of course, the fists. So you'll get 2 fist hands for Indy. And then, of course, the weapon or gun holding hand as well, too. So 3 sets of hands, a monkey, and all of that. The biggest difference is it's just this upper body here. The head sculpt, it does have a painted open mouth compared to what the other one was. But when I say it's the articulation, so the Temple of Doom Indy shirtless has chest articulation. So this particular figure has that. He also has the ball joint at the waist. The only issue is the shirt that's been used is a harder rubber plastic, so it cuts all of that articulation out. It also affects the articulation for the butterflies, which was kind of disappointing for this particular figure. I do like the fact that they've weathered this shirt up, so it does give it some nice depth. And this was one of the favorite scenes for me with Indy, where the guy's got the swords and then he's doing all the, the sword motion, and then Indy just shoots him with the pistol and then puts it away. So overall, again, it has the neck articulation, which we've seen for the Indies. So there's a ball joint that goes from the neck to the chest, and then ball joint that goes from the neck to the head. It is the hinge and swivel for both the arms and the knees. I don't know if it, again, is for cost savings or if it's for the aesthetic, but it does make, when you have your figure standing up in your display, look a little bit better when you don't have that kind of knee articulation, the double knee break. But overall, with this particular figure, I was a little bit disappointed just because you do get that articulation in the chest, and I can't use it. So let's move him out of the way, and we will go into Walter Donovan. Now, this particular figure, again, is from The Last Crusade. Walter Donovan has tricked Indy and his father, Henry Jones Sr., into looking for the chalice, which was the cup that Christ used at the Last Supper. And it's supposed to, of course, give you, eternal life, all of that good stuff. So this particular figure comes in almost like a safari-type gear. He does have, of course, the articulation in the neck. And what's cool with this one is it's actually the top of the shirt, so the collar moves along with the tie, so you can get some pretty decent movement. Now, his head does also pop off because that's one of the extra accessories. But as far as articulation goes, he is one of the changes because guess what? He's got pinned double knees and elbows, or double knees. I think this is because they may have reused some Star Wars figures legs for this particular uh, Walter Donovan figure. And I guess they can do that because it is a Lucas film, so they do own that tooling, so that allows them to use that for Walter Donovan. Walter Donovan does come with some accessories as well, too. Get him to stand up, and I'll show you. Again, I showed the chalice here that you see. This is in that gold plastic. It is actually really nice. There is detail work done to it as well. Just a nice little accessory to add along to it. He does have a extra head sculpt. As you know, he did choose wrong, and he paid with his life for it, so you can swap that head out. He also comes with a piece of the tablet that Indy used to find where the chalice was being hidden. It does have, if you can see, the hieroglyphics. Let's call it hieroglyphics, but it's basically like the Latin that was in the tablet itself. Some really nice detail. They did use like a wash to really bring that out. He also comes with a pistol, which is kind of, get it to show up here. There we go. Which does have, again, it is in a silver plastic, but the brown and the black is painted. It does have a little clip at the bottom that does not come out. So overall, I do like that Walter Donovan figure. I do think it's kind of cool that they did use those Star Wars figures legs, which I'm hoping that some of these may go on clearance and can definitely be used for some custom work down the line. Next up is Kazim. This particular figure, I wasn't sure if I wanted to get him because, again, he was in the movie for a little bit. But once I saw the suited body, I'm like, yep, I've got to get this particular figure. The hat is molded on, which is okay with me. It makes it look a little bit better. Overall, the sculpting and paint work for the head is almost dead on to that actor. The rose does have sculpting in it as well, too. And again, with the articulation for the Indiana Jones line, the shirt and collar moves with the neck and then into the head. He doesn't have as much articulation in the head, and that has a lot to do with just the hair in the back. But overall, it's really good. He does have movement at the waist because it is on that ball joint. Again, it is hinge and swivel for both the knees and the legs. I do like the brown shoes. They do have these painted black, so almost looks like he has black dress socks on. And then, of course, the pinstriping does look pretty darn straight. It does go, of course, on the front and the back. So just some nice paint app work done for this particular figure. What's cool about Kazim is he does come with a number of different weapons. So that he has this, I want to say it's an M1 or possibly even a British style rifle. But it is a nice addition, if I can get it to focus here. Okay, don't cooperate. It does have some paint apps into the upper receiver arm of the weapon. The trigger is painted, and then, of course, the barrel. Just a really nice weapon, and he can hold this pretty easily, and it does look really good on him. He does have almost a Han Solo-esque blaster. I don't know if this is supposed to be... It looks like a mashup of a number of different weapons, but almost looks like Han Solo's gun from Star Wars. Still pretty cool. Love the paint apps. It's in a metallic silver type plastic with, of course, the brown painted handles. And then, of course, he does have a machine gun as well, too. Just nice detail on this as well from the barrel. That silver gunmetal plastic. And then, of course, the stock is in brown. So overall, again, great figure. He also has, just as with Walter Donovan, the hands on the ball dumbbell joint, so that's a nice feature, so you can swap different hands for different figures. And then finally, I have Professor Indy, which is probably my favorite figure in the line. Just a really good head sculpt of Harrison Ford. Get him to show up. But just probably one of the best that I've seen. This suited body is awesome. I do like the inclusion of the vest underneath, of course, but overall just looks really good. They don't have a wash on it or anything, but it just really pops. Of course, the shoes look good, and you can see it is in that gray plastic underneath. So again, it kind of does look like he has dress socks on. I would have liked maybe a little paint wash or something on the shoes. But again, as a customizer, I can do all that stuff. Again, hinge and swivel for the articulations for the elbows and the knees. These figures, even in the suits, all do have the butterfly joints as well. He has a little bit more movement just because of how it's cut. Ball joint to the neck, to the upper torso, and then of course ball joint to the head as well too. For Dr. Jones, his accessories, of course, he does come with the shield from the which does have the Latin printing on it as well too that he used in the movie. He can also use the shield. Does have some great weathering effects on the back of it as well. Then from the Knights Templar, that's what it was from. He does also come with the the femur with that Dr. Jones used in the movie. With the leather wrap, of course, they used to as a torch. The fire effect does look really good on this as well too. And then probably the coolest item that he does have is his Dr. Henry Jones Sr.'s book, where he had kept all the secrets for the chalice and the lost cup of Christ. So overall, if you are an Indiana Jones fan, this is a fun line to pick up. For me, it's easier to pick up because I'm just gonna to buy the items that I like from the movies that I like. I know I've been thinking I might want to pick up Short Round, just because he was such a big part of Temple of Doom. But between the three movies from the original run, again, Raiders and Last Crusade are my favorites. I have pre-ordered Dr. Henry Jones Sr., Elsa, and then, of course, Indy from The Last Crusade. That does have the build artifact to go with that particular wave, but I have not purchased all of those items, so I'm okay with that. The biggest artifact that I wanted, of course, was the Ark of the Covenant, which I was able to get by buying that first wave of figures. So once I get those, I should be all set. I did also get the 2-pack with Marcus, and I believe it is Wall. No, it's with shoot. Now I can't think of the guy's name from the first movie, the Frenchman. Terrible. Sorry, but that 2-pack is the other one that have ordered, and I should have my complete collection for the Indy figures. So overall, again, if you like Indiana Jones, this is a fun figure wave to pick up. For the Indy figures themselves, though, really look at which ones that you want, and then pick and choose from there. Again, with the Cairo Indy, if it didn't have that upper chest cut, I would have been okay with paying the $35. I did. No, I wouldn't have. Really, from the first to the first wave to the second, the only thing that's included is the monkey that came with Marion. Everything else is pretty much the same that Indy came with. So I don't understand why there was that price increase for that particular figure. That did kind of bum me out. I don't know if it's a licensing thing with Disney, whatever it is. It just hurt a little bit more than what it should have. If it was to help pay for that tooling for the upper torso movement, hey, okay, but give me a softer shirt that I can actually use that feature for. For the Disney Store exclusive, I think that's pretty much what it is. It was a Disney Store exclusive. They had to throw in something extra, and paying a little bit more for the dial piece, I'm okay with. But overall, I would say this is a good line to collect because it's filling in some gaps of some movies and figures that I always wanted as a kid. I never picked up the 3 3/4 inch Indiana Jones figures when I was younger because I didn't know about them. And then trying to collect some of them in the secondary market before these re releases was darn near impossible, and you'd spend an absolute ton of money. So I'm happy with the ones that I have here. I hope you guys are all having a great day on the island. I hope you guys are all doing well, and no matter where you're at on the island, I hope you guys have a great day, evening, or night. And more importantly, Indiana Jones. Talk to you guys all soon.